An undead versus undead palette cleanser is something that absolutely no one should ever ask for, but here we are after Shadows of Change. We're going to be taking a look at a replay from the recent Friday Night Fights, of course, hosted by the Night Crew. Here we've got Joy Boy versus, I'm not sure, honestly. I guess we'll see in the end screen, but it's Tomb Kings versus a Vampire Coast. Some nice undead on undead action here in the Desert Crater. On their home turf, we've got Ark in the Black here, and some Skeleton Warriors. We've got 3 Ushabti, 2 Chosen of the Gods with Great Bows, or Ushabti Great Bows rather. One of them is Chosen of the Gods, Nehakara Horsemen, Blessed Legion of Fakth, and some Skeleton Horse Archers as well. Currently counter-skirmishing with Luther Harkon up in the sky. Some deck dropper bombers. We've got a couple of animated Hulks here. Some deckhand mobs. A couple of polearms defending 2 carronades. And some more bombers over there. So, decent amount of heavy mass. And yeah, the 2 Hulks plus the gun crabs. It's definitely a solid combination. No Regiment of Renown gun crabs, I think, is potentially a problem. They're definitely the strongest unit on the Vampire Coast roster. I'd pretty much take them in almost any matchup. But yeah, Harkon, of course, is quite strong, so let's see what he can do as these Nehakara Horsemen sort of lead the Prometheans on a little bit of a goose chase there. Ushabti Great Bows are going to pull up on station and just counter-skirmish the cannons, for the most part, it looks like, and they're doing a good job of working at least the one down. The other one, it looks like they switched off of, and now... yeah, I'm not sure they're targeting... no, it looks like they are targeting those cannons, so... yeah, it's smart to just run forward and try and do this, rather than, you know, prioritize the Ushabti Great Bow shooting anything else for the moment. It's definitely the greatest threat to them directly. Harkon's also a really good target to be shooting at, but you want to make sure you remove those carronades. Even if they're maximum range, those Ushabti Great Bows are still accurate enough to delete the artillery pieces themselves, right? You can see cannons are all destroyed, sad, slumped over in the sand there. Nehakara Horsemen also beautifully outmaneuver mobility, what it is, of the Vampire Coast here. And it looks like a little bit of Spirit Leech up on Harkon in the skies. The Tomb King's definitely in a solid position right now, but their infantry is getting broken up and beat down pretty badly. They're losing out some Ushabti as well. Super cost-effective trade with the animated Hulks to go up against them. The bombers, it looks like, also helping out there, but now taking the fire from those Ushabti Great Bows as they switched off the cannons. Prometheans trying to shut down the successful Nehakara Horsemen. So we've got some Skeleton Horse Archers also moving through. They've got a movement order directly onto those polearms right now, which is a little bit unfortunate. But Ark in the Black running around on his chariot, getting some summons, getting some Spirit Leeches, just being an absolute menace to Undead Society. And Harkon is now going to face the Wrath. Ark in the Black's chariot's not armor-piercing. His weapon strength is also quite low. I guess this is fought in large unit sizes. Looking at the single-entity weapon strengths here, which is pretty interesting. But, yeah, looks like the Scurvy Dogs are going to be able to get through. Would have been nice to have them maybe protecting the backline for those Nehakara Horsemen a little bit earlier, but as it is right now, they could still come feast on some value on these Regiment of Renown Skeleton Archers. Tomb Kings are starting to grind ahead a bit. Vampire Coast does have some recoverability here, but again, no Regiment of Renown. Rotting Prometheans, not that they've taken much damage anyway, but they can definitely help sustain in a longer endgame. They did manage to beat down most of this group of Ushabti. These 2 melee Ushabti here are perfectly healthy, beating down those animated Hulks as they outnumber them significantly. Skeleton Horseman Archers just kind of sitting on the flank doing their thing, so... Tomb Kings looking like they're probably going to start cleaning things up here, but let's see if Harkon can make something happen. Quite dangerous, though, for him that the Spirit Leech is active. We've got both the Ushabti Great Bows now out in space. Start to fire in on him as he tries to take out the last of the Blessed Legion there. Yeah, looks like we're going to see the Ushabti summon out in the distance there, just directly onto some halberds, which is interesting. I might have actually put it on these Rotting Prometheans just to kind of lock them into place, but I guess providing some heavy support here. Just try and break the leadership, maybe, of those zombie polearms as Luther starts to get pulled down as well. Archon is quite strong, but Terror Goose right now is not in the category of good flying monsters, I don't think. I mean, I don't know, maybe people can disagree if they feel differently down in the comments, but I feel like the Terror Geist hasn't actually been good for quite some time. Given that its relatively weak mass means, as you saw there, it has a really hard time pulling out of units. Unlike, say, heavier dragons like the Star Dragon, which can definitely operate a little bit more successfully, it is really important for those flying monsters to have decent mass to be able to operate well. But Goose is just, for the cost, it's not where it's at. Doom King's cleaning up right around the 5-minute mark there, so a little bit of a quick one. Not the closest game by any means. I mean, it was reasonably decent, but yeah, Pacho here just relying a little bit too much on those carronades, I think. Needed to maybe opt in some more polearms on his composition. Like, just cut the chevrons from these guys and upgrade some of these other zombies. 2 polearms, might as well. Animated hulks are decent. Managed to trade okay. But, yeah, the mobility for the vampire, excuse me, host definitely suffered here. And on the flip side, Joy Boys, yeah, Nekar Horsemen were able to trade reasonably decent. Shabti Greatbows, man, Chosen the Gods cleaning up an insane amount of value on some high-value targets. And I like the front line of Ushabti just to give some heavier presence, even though zombie polearms are pretty prevalent and quite strong. The Ushabti, excuse me, I have to say some spicy food's coming back up anyway. Yeah, they're quite good, honestly, in that kind of heavy support role. Front line of skeletons, they're here to mostly just die. But it's definitely an interesting one. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Luther, particularly in this matchup. I think Noctilus, being a tanky foot character, it's really hard for Tomb Kings to kill. You've got those long-range summons to help you know, shut down like these archers, or pressure Shabti Greatbows, or you know, just kind of do some various things. But it's definitely an interesting matchup. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.